Good afternoon. This is Steve Nicholson, economist at International Food Products in St. Louis. This is our first video news, and we welcome you to it. We thought we would kick off with one of the questions that's been on everyone's mind about markets in the last several days has been, why does Japan matter? And we don't mean that in the cold sense, because it's been a horrific human disaster to that country, both in physical and emotional toll. But we've had a lot of questions about why the Japan situation, the earthquake, the tsunami, and now the nuclear reactor problems they've had, why they have had such impacts on commodity markets. And the second question that goes one step further is, what is the connection to commodities? Help me connect the dots. So let's start with a couple facts about Japan to give you some idea why Japan's important. One is they're the number 3 economy in the world, behind China, behind the United States and China. They're the number 3 consumer of oil in the world, so that does have an impact. They're also the number 1 importer of corn, canola, and pork products, and they're also the number 5 importer of wheat. So you can see that they're important to the world as far as a consumer of goods and services, and we're talking about primarily goods here. And the fear that the market has come to is the fact that if Japan is off the grid because of the disaster, natural disaster, that the demand for products will go down, and that's why the commodity markets have taken such a dive here in the short term. And so, as we said, clearly, this is a short-term issue. And I think we will need to emphasize that this is a short-term issue from the demand side of the equation. On the other hand, though, from a medium and long-term perspective, we would give you an idea that we think the markets this is somewhat friendly. Maybe not bullish, but friendly to the markets. Japan is going to have a long road back to reconstruct their country, so they're going to be demanding lots of goods to do that reconstruction. Everything from timber, from metal, steel. They're going to be a massive food relief to the people now because they don't have food, and it's also going to be, we're going to see the long term. Not only going to bring food relief in, but we're also going to bring, they're going to continue to consume products because their people need to eat. And as you've seen probably some of the pictures in the news, grocery stores have been stripped clean, and so there's a huge restocking of inventory there. So while they've been off the grid for 5 days now, the world grid for 5 days, they will come back on, and there will be a clear demand for food. The markets have rebounded somewhat on that view, and also the fact is that we've turned our attention back to the Mideast, where there is problems there, and also we've turned it back to the fact that on March 31st, excuse me, we will get prospective planning reports, prospective plannings here in the U.S., and with the expectations we'll see more corn acres and less soybean acres, which has been somewhat bearish to corn, but will be bullish to beans over the long term. So, through all these the disaster of Japan, we have seen no change in the fundamentals, which generally are constructive for commodities long term. We hope this is helpful to you to help you better understand the impact that Japan has had on commodity markets and will have in the future. Thanks for listening.